Alright, so I've done this 20 times. I'd say 15 because my iPad freaking crashed. And yes, Logan, you can make fun of the way I said that. Because it's a callback to an earlier video. You can read the comment. I don't remember which one. I'm not going to waste time looking through the video to see which one it was. But I went down because I thought my dog does not look where she's going sometimes, and I have my books under my bed because I have no room in my room. My room's like 5 foot by 5 foot, and so she'll knock over stuff, and then she'll walk over it. And some of those books aren't boarded, like this one. It's not under the bed, but it's the point. This is an example, and if you walk all over it, it gets less minty condition. She actually has like torn a hole in one of them, and I wanted to kill her. Luckily, it was one that was what it's called a reader's copy, which means they'll never get rid of it because I actually liked the book. The ones that get rid of are ones. Actually, I got to get rid of one that's in here. It's not a reading recommendation. I haven't read it yet. But some of them are because they're in collections like these or in the omnibus, or I just didn't like them, or yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry. I keep losing my mind. Going insane. I keep forgetting stuff. Okay, reading recommendations. Let's go. Okay, the first one is, and this is not a recommendation. So if you, I think I have mentioned this before, but just because I said reading recommendations does not mean that I liked all of these. Some of them I didn't like. I didn't want to do another buyer's remorse one because there's only a few of them I didn't like. So there's that. Okay, so I'll do the first two I didn't like. So there's that. There's only a few of them I didn't like, and to do a separate video for it is kind of dumb. So I'll do it all in one. There we go. I actually put words into a sentence that made sense. It was a coherent sentence. Okay, so anyways, the Grayson one, I just did not like. Why did I say it like that? The Grayson one was pretty bad. I will give it this, besides the stupid Secret Origins one, which did not do what you should do in telling you, this is what you should do. And if you gotta retell the origin, do it in the flap of the comic, or do it not previously in, or just do like a little blurb at the start or whatever. Like, it's a 1-page thing. It should not be I think it was like 20 page? It felt like it was 20 pages, probably like 10 or 5, but it felt like 20 because it was all shit I knew. Like, I know this, and I don't know why I didn't just skip it. Because I'm an idiot, that's why. And because they didn't tell you, they just showed the issue. Like, this is what they do for DC books. I actually like this series, by the way. This is going to be the next one after I talk about the ones that I hated. I'll be talking about. So yeah, it was just, and then the one after that, it's just what I'm talking about. So you don't know what the issue is unless you remember exactly what it was. Ow. So that issue could be an annual, it could be from a different series. The Night of the Owls is an absolute, like, if you want a good example of how you don't know which issue it is, read that Night of the Owls, softcover book. I think it's actually in a hardcover too. I don't know why I emphasized that it was softcover, but that's a good one to check. It's a good story too, but it's a good one to, just to see how DC does their things. Does shit. Okay, I can't talk today apparently. Okay, so that one, the Grayson one, okay, so one after that was good, and then it just went downhill. It was just like, I do not care about these characters, everyone's boring, this is boring, I hate this. And it was almost like Tom King didn't write it, because I actually like Tom King as a writer. Not a lot of people seem to like him as a writer. I don't know why. Like, you really think he's worse than Fabian Nuzieza's Cable and Deadpool, which is nothing but exposition and the occasional good issue that, got overshadowed by the exposition dump issues. I'm sure Fabian Nicieza is a good writer besides that, but He's kind of overrated in my opinion. Maybe I just need to write something that's not exposition dump part 2 in the same issue. Like, literally, I think there was one that was 20 pages that I think it took me an hour to read because I kept taking breaks. Which I do, yeah, sometimes I will take a break to look up something, no matter how good or bad an issue is. And if it's really, really good, I won't take a break. But sometimes, like, it's gotten to routine now, so I can't do it without doing that. It's not because I have an addiction or anything. It's not that. It's just more like I did that before, and now I can't not do it. And sometimes the book does get a little boring, but that Deadpool one I think took me an hour and a half to read, and it wasn't because I got interrupted or anything. It was because I stopped reading it, or not stopped reading it technically. It was because I got so bored of it. I had to stop reading it, and I dumped it and was like, I don't care anymore. And thank God it was the library. I would have had a 10-minute, not 10-minute. I would have had a 40-minute rant about it, of how I'm so stupid. But thank God I was not stupid. But yeah, and if you like exposition dumps, it's good. I mean, besides that, I liked it, but it gets annoying after a while when you're just like, let's explain what's going on instead of what's going to happen, instead of, it's a comic, not a book. If it was a book, I'd understand, but it's a comic. You have pictures in the fucking book. Use those pictures to advantage Fabian or whoever fucking drew it. I don't know if it was Fabian, because I think he's just a writer, not a writer. But yeah, like, you guys are getting mad at Tom King because and to be fair, I have not read any of his bad books. His Bat book, not bad, Bat book I have read is Batman Rebirth. That was kind of a joke. His Batman Rebirth, I read the first 6 volumes up, and I liked it. I don't know if it gets better to that, but maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But no one seemed to like him, and everyone had, and there was, a huge party when everyone was invited to, but I didn't go, because I held a picket sign, I actually like Tom King, and I got beat up, and that's why I look like this. Oh, I'm waiting for you guys to laugh at that super funny joke. I'm sorry. Alright. Okay, enough, padding, which I'm not padding for a reason. Not patting, padding. D-D-I-N-G. P-A-D-D-I-N-G. And that's when you, just do for a long time. Family Guy does that all the time. If you ever need to know what padding meant, just watch Family Guy, and you pass that fucking vocabulary test. If padding was the only word on that test I didn't know, or, just in general, it's the only word. Imagine that. Imagine having a one question test. That would be kind of scary, because if you get it wrong, you fail. But if you get it right, you pass. When we get it half wrong, it's still a 50%. You still technically fail. You still do fail. Alright. Next one I read that I didn't like was Thor. It was War of the Pantheons. To be fair, it was just, not my thing. But this Thor, I'm so glad I had it. And it was funny because I didn't see this. I just recommended it and just suddenly had it. This is J. Michael Straczynski run. Read this run. It is so damn good. It was one that I have recommended before. Let's do it again. It was also one of those ones along with Batgirl. I did review Batgirl. I don't want to review it again. Along with Batgirl that I'm glad I gave a second chance to. So the next one I read was a mini one for Thor. It was just kind of boring. It's kind of it's product of its time. Definitely a product of its time. Maybe I just don't like early Thor. I like newer Thor, and I like the Jason Aaron run. I think it's one of those things that I remember reading it, but I don't remember if I liked it because I vaguely remember being happy when it ended. But I think it was just because I could finally read War of the Realms, even though I mistakenly thought I had a 2016 or 2018 series, but I had a 2012 series. Yeah, just a few years difference. No big deal there. War of the Realms I thought was just okay. I definitely would not recommend that. Maybe if you want to read it, go to local library. They'll probably have it. My local library didn't have it, but I got it for a good price. It actually is pretty cheap on Amazon, so just get it on your Kindle. Maybe get the omnibus. I don't know. I actually did get the omnibus because I liked the Spider-Man one, the Punisher one, and that's even though you can buy the individual trades maybe. But if you want to buy the omnibus to get into the series, and if you want to get into the series, then buy the omnibus. So that's that. That's my not padding, but that's my trademark. I do this all the time. I get sidetracked. That's the word, sidetracked. But yeah, my trademark is getting sidetracked. That's gonna be when you go on my IMDb page, you go to trademarks. It's gonna say he gets sidetracked a lot, or getting sidetracked, because we wouldn't say it like that. They'd say getting sidetracked, not he gets sidetracked a lot. Technically. All right, so next one I read that, and this is actual recommendations. Action Comics Rebirth. The best part about this book is that apparently you didn't have to, you had to read ones beforehand. The only one that you had to read, spoilers by the way, is Death of Superman, but I haven't read it, and I already knew what was, and I knew what was going on. Basically, all you need to know is that Doomsday killed Superman, and he's back, and everyone's scared, and his wife Lois is scared. And he's married now, and he has a kid now, and that is the best thing for him. For Spider-Man, it does not work. For Superman, it works. Here's the biggest difference. Superman was not a teenager when he started out. He was a almost full-fledged adult. I would say at the youngest, he was 25, maybe. But point is, and he's been around since 1938. The point is, that's one of the characters that really works, making him aged and everything like that, aging him up. For Spider-Man, yeah, it could work like an alternate dimension type thing. The point I'm trying to make is I did not like that Renew Your Vows book. I'm going to show you guys which one, because there's 2 series apparently. So here's the one that I didn't like. For all you people that are going to go in the comments and say, how dare you not like that? That is the best Spider-Man run ever. And if you ever say anything wrong, and if you ever say anything negative about it again, I will somehow find you and kill you, because I care about that much, and I want to appease my, people. I don't know where I was going with that. This is the one right here. This is the one I read and didn't like. Not the other one. It's this one. Okay? Gary Conway wrote that? The fuck happened to him? Okay, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, I thought it was too kiddish. And it is by Gary Conway, so it does make sense. But he wrote the Death of Gwen Stacy, Death of Gwen Stacy run book, and I love that one. I'm so glad I have it because it's out of print and it's worth a lot of money. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna, it's really weird. I'm probably gonna sell it, and with the profit, I'll get the omnibus. That is what is called. I don't know what that's called. It's called being smart, I guess. Sidetracked again. But I didn't hate that Renew Your Vows one. I thought it was too kiddish. It was like those Marvel kid books, and I guess I should have known because it was an all ages book. But so Gary Conway, even though he wrote that Death of Gwen Stacy, which is like more adult than Renew Your Vows, but he has said in the past, just look up what he said about comic books recently, and you'll understand what I'm saying. I don't want to get into it. Not because I don't want to talk about it, just because I don't want to talk about it. Not because I don't want to talk about it, because it's like, oh, it's a big thing. But this video is already 14 minutes long, and I still talk about a bunch more books. Alright, X Factor. Even though I skipped Volume 6, they had it previously in, and the Volume 7 was the best of the bunch. This is Volume 8, I haven't read this yet. It was the best of the bunch, there was no slow parts. The only times I wanted to speed up was when I read it late at night. That was a bad idea. So was this. Alright, I put the book in the book like that. You know. You guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? I want to drop books so I can show you what I mean. I'm not getting mad because I'm dropping books. I'm just getting mad because I can't think of words. This is like terrible. Okay. Yeah, I'm already forgetting them. Sculptor. It was okay. I think they could have trimmed the book a little bit. I'll try this in here. I think they could have trimmed the book a little bit, and it would have been much better. But I pushed my 2 cents. And yes, I'm gonna forget to talk about some books. The only ones I'll remember are the ones I have written down. Not written down, they're on my. I screenshotted them. Something I should have done a long time ago with the other books I did. DMZ started out good, it just kind of fell apart at the end. It reminded me a lot of how much I hated The Undiscovered Country by Scott Snyder, who's a hack writer now. X Factor I talked about. Astro City. If it wasn't for Marvels, they would have called Kurt Busiek an overrated writer. It's just boring. How do you make a superhero comic boring? That's going back to the roots of superhero comics. And at the time, I believe at the time it came out, the superhero comic genre was getting stale. How do you do that? Got a 4.1 on a good 5 on Goodreads, so apparently I'm just fucking retarded. But the Superman Action Comics, which everyone likes, not just me, but everyone, they said it was good. And even people that hated Tom King's run of Batman said that Superman Action Comics Rebirth was good. And I say Rebirth because that's the new lineup. They have like a new, not a new lineup, a new reboot. Yeah, if you just look up reboots for DC, for DC. They're talking about Thor, talking about Sculptor, Astro City, DMC. Walking Dead. Again, not again. I might have said it before, but if you can get through all the slower issues, then they'll give you a fast-paced issue that is really damn good. And I still have not gotten to the show. I don't know why. It just happened. But I want to get into the show. I want to see how everyone looks, even though I've seen that before. I've watched a few clips. I wanted to know when Carl died, because I like spoiling myself. I already know how he dies in actually which issue, because a YouTuber spoiled that for me. And to be honest, don't you expect everyone to die? The book series is over, so and I don't know how it ended. Do not spoil that for me, comments, or I will cancel everything. No, I'll go on hiatus. No, I'll block the comments, even though it's a bad thing for me. Although no, getting rid of the comments is probably bad for everyone else too. But yeah, he had it spoiled for me. He told me what issue was in it because he was going through his collection. He said 193 or 192, whichever one it was. Spoilers. Carl and Rick die. End of spoilers. So yeah, Walking Dead is as good as ever. Yeah, and you can get through all the slower issues. They'll give you a good issue for sticking around for so long. And I have to. There is a point. There's a reason for why that happens, and it's because even though I'm only 85 issues in. Even then, like, there's 194 in all, and even at 84, it's hard to keep it fresh. Keep the zombie apocalypse storyline going fresh at the 84 issues. So I think I talked about everything. Batgirl was good. I'm glad I got Volume 2. I'm very happy now. And the best part about it is they had this. I can finally, after I read this, I can finally get into that Infinity book that I've had since, what? April? Not even April, because that would have been too close to my birthday. No, actually, what it had to be, it's when I graduated. It was the end of March. Yeah, I graduated. Didn't have a fucking ceremony, just to send you something in the mail. I think technically it was like in May or June or something. God, how much I wish it was June right now, not October, where I have 2 weeks left. And yeah, I should be grateful, because everyone else is back in school now. The only reason why I'm starting late is because I chose to start late, because we went on vacation. Technically, I didn't choose it. Everyone else chose it for me. But if you think I want to go to school early, the one downside is that I will be going until end of June. It's gonna be great. Although it might feel less. No, because I just realized that's not that bad. That's less than school. Less than when I was back in school in Alvernon elementary school, all that shit. Never mind then. And I'll have breaks too. I'll have not as long for because it's regular school schedule now, because they decided they don't want money anymore. It still makes no sense to me. Someone in the comments that knows about that kind of shit can tell me what it is. I don't know if it's because of COVID, because school's still open, but it's only for first and second year, not for all 4 years of college, not high school. But yeah, it's a little tangent. I shit you not. I actually looked forward to going to school. Not because of school itself, because everyone there was super nice. And I didn't get like bullied for liking comics. Everyone was nice to you. No one talked behind your back. Some kids probably did. The only one I hated was when everyone else hated. He just quit school after that, and because everyone hated him. No, he didn't like school at all. He was like a slacker. And it wasn't like no one was a slacker. Everyone was cooperative. It was a nice place. Like I am surprised that there was no one out of the 18 people. This was like 18 people there. It was a very small place. None of them are assholes. And I don't have to deal with anyone at the regular SNU now because it's gonna be all online now. Yay! I'm so glad that happened in China, Wuhan, and what actually started that? Post that in the comments too. And also post in the comments how much of a hack I am for wasting all your time, even though this is very hard to do. That wasn't pessimism, that was, it was pessimism. That was more pessimism than, me getting mad or anything. It's just, I've done this 14,000 times. I think this has been an hour. I think it has been an hour, actually, of me. And it's a 20-minute video. Yeah, it definitely has been an hour, because I've had 14 different cuts. I'm just gonna end this now. I probably have forgotten to talk about books that I read recently. I apologize. Teen Titans Rebirth, that's a good one. Read that.